BMRform.com and BMRodds.com. What is going on, boys? What is going on? Welcome back to episode number 65 of The Lobby. As always, my three esteemed co-hosts, starting off with Mr. Donnie Rightside. What's up, Donnie?
It seems like it's been months since we had an NBA game, but finally tomorrow we will get some NBA action as the finals begin. Saturday hockey, so at least we'll wait on that. Good day, Major League Baseball, turning into summer-like temperatures up here in the Northeast. So good time here. Let's win some money. Let's have some fun.
All right, and Sam's in charge. Sammy. I think Sam's kind of down today. Really hasn't said much. I think he's upset over this Rangers loss.
Yeah, I'm very upset. That's why I'm betting against them in the finals. You know, strictly a vengeance bet. You know, there's no handicapping. You just go with the team that beat your team. And you make great value because they're at plus odds. Plus, Donnie's rooting for Edmonton. My buddy's rooting for Edmonton. Right. Talent-wise, they're the better team. So, yeah, we're going to go with the Oilers.
All right. And then last but certainly not least, Mr. Pipe. What's up, Pipe? Pipe.
Speechless.
So
hot over there.
Doesn't have anything to say.
The internet's fried.
But Dottie, I know some baseball games have already got started.
Yeah.
Let's jump into some afternoon action. What do you got?
Yeah, take a look tonight. 6:40 game, 7:05 game, and a 9:40 game. Tonight, Los Angeles Dodgers and the Pittsburgh Pirates. You might look and say to yourself, wait a second. Pirates are a favorite tonight. They absolutely should be over the Dodgers. Yesterday, shutting out the Dodgers 1-0. Paul Skeens gets on the mound today. One of the best xFIP numbers in baseball today, going up against one of the worst xFIP guys in baseball today, and that is James Paxton. A couple RBI props I do think are decent for Pittsburgh, but the first five, which hovers anywhere between -135 and -145 where you're shopping, I would take that. Don't risk it on the bullpen. Skeens should outdo Paxton. You'll pick up a W there. Then we'll take a look at Minnesota and New York yesterday. I love RBI props on both Aaron Judge and also Giancarlo Stanton. They each got 2 last night. So tonight, instead of just going back to the well with both of those, we're just going to take a nice little profitable spot here and look at our guy Aaron Judge. A -105 price to get an RBI. He might even hit a home run tonight. So we'll go with that aspect. And then late night tonight, you want to stay up late, you want to have some fun. Mr. Raleigh here for Seattle, a 2-1 price to get an RBI today going up against Estes, the right-handed batter. Raleigh, the left-handed batter, a very, very good hitter as a lefty against right-handed pitching. We'll take him at a 2-1 price. There's still some fun left in the day, no doubt about it.
Definitely. Good luck with those, Donnie. Did you have anything this afternoon in the early games?
I did have a couple things this afternoon. I'm still waiting to see how they turn out. An RBI prop for Marcell Ozuna, which only had 1 hit in that baseball game. The Braves got absolutely decked by Boston. But there's a couple things I'm rooting on in the afternoon. Some RBI props haven't come in yet, but we'll see if it does.
All right, Sammy, what do you got on the diamond?
Yeah, so looking ahead at the baseball, listen to this. Before I go into the Yankees on Wednesday are 8-1 this year. Huh. So how about that stat? You know, you always say that I pick the Yankees, but I looked back every Wednesday. They are 8-1 this year, and they've won 7 straight. So that being said, I like the Yankees tonight. I don't really love the price, but fuck it. They're 8-1 on Wednesday, so let's go with the Yankees. In reference to JDS contest, again, it's a very competitive contest right now. There's 7 guys within 5 units of each other, but the top 3, you got Franz 555 at plus 11.63 units, Capitalist Pig at plus 12.5 units, and Empire Maker at plus 14.36 units. But every day it's changing. It's a 2.5 unit boost or change if one guy wins, one guy loses. So every day it's competitive. And keep fighting.
Definitely interesting trend there, Sammy, with the 8-1. I wonder if it's going to hold any water tonight.
Well, I knew that you would like that because you always say every week I take the Yankees. So I had to go back and back my own stat for why you should be taking the Yankees on Wednesdays when we do the show.
Wow. It's interesting. Very interesting.
I'm here to give you guys winners. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to blindly give you guys nothing. That's called handicapping, right?
That's it. Trends.
Exactly. Well, since we're talking baseball, Dottie, let's jump into this. And I know I'm going to screw this name up. Tucupita Marcano, his lifetime ban from baseball. It's pretty crazy looking at the statistics. If this information is true, he only bet $150,000 on baseball, and he only has a 4.3% winning percentage. 231 games, and he only won maybe like 10, 11 of those. Pretty wild. What is this guy going to do now? I posted it, in his thread as well. He's now banned from life from baseball. Everyone knows it. He's the first player since, I believe, Pete Rose to actually get a lifetime ban. Where do you go from here? Every job you're going to be doing, every relationship, everybody's going to know what you did. How do you move on?
Yeah, it's hard to move on, especially when baseball was probably your entire life at this point. So I don't know where you go at this point because it's not going to be in professional sports with that background. Having said that, we used to get angry when you hear about insider trading, right? It's like, man, I can't believe that guy made an extra $3 million. He knew exactly what to bet on in the stock market with a merger or an acquisition. How dare he do that? But we never get upset at the guy that bets wrong on the acquisition because he got bad inside information. And how do you win 4% of your games when you have inside information or who's going to be pitching today, who's not going to be available in the bullpen, who's not going to be in that starting lineup before the rest of the betting public does, and still get trounced like that? So I was joking a little bit earlier on the shows today, saying to myself, you know what? Don't ban that guy from baseball. What did he do wrong? He had absolutely no idea what he was doing. How do you have 4%? Imagine betting on your own team when you know who the starter is, who's injured, who's playing well, who can't hit and won't play, to have a 4% win advantage. That's outrageous, man. That's as bad as it gets. I don't even feel bad for the guy, and they probably shouldn't have banned him based on that.
Right. Sammy, what do you think about this?
Yeah, did they display what type of bets he was making? Because the only rational, logical explanation is that he did same game parlays, 8, 10-team ridiculous parlays.
Has to be.
If
I saw somewhere that he was betting parlays pretty heavily, and he was chasing. I don't know. That was just something somebody posted. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me given those numbers.
Yeah, I mean, just from a pure luck standpoint, you can't flip a coin and be 4%. You can't bet you can bet a plus 300 and be better than 4%. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So he must have been betting, all those lottery tickets that you see that the sportsbook post on social media because they want to draw you in. Yeah, right. God bless those guys that have those tickets. But, for every one of those tickets, there's a million people that think that they're having those tickets. So that's the only logical sense. It sucks for him, but hey, I mean, you knew the risk going into it. So you should have hired an interpreter and then told him to make the bet for you. And then you could have bypassed the whole system. Shame on him for not working it better.
True.
Pipe, what do you think about this?
Those tickets Sammy's talking about, those I like to call lightning strike because that's what they are. You only get them one time, and when you get it, you think you could continue to do it over and over again, but that's not the way to make money in sports betting. I posted about this guy when the story came out, and I'll tell you, he was with the Pirates. He was injured. He wasn't even playing, man. So who the hell knows? He bet on his own team, they said, but he also made other bets. Then he got traded over to the Padres, and then they caught his ass. And, sports books are looking for popular names, Ohtani, so to say, whoever. You know what I'm saying? You can't bet in your own name if you're in pro sports, and especially on your own sport, man. The guy's an idiot. He threw it away his career. He wasn't that big of a deal. His numbers are mediocre, if that. I mean, throw away your career for what? 4%?
Exactly. Sammy, let's jump into the NBA Finals. Mavericks and Celtics. Game 1 starts tomorrow at 5:30. What do you think here? What do you like?
Yeah, so in reference to the finals, as a New Yorker, as a New York fan, I'm not rooting for Boston, but it does stink because I don't like Kyrie Irving, but I do like Luka Doncic. So in this series, I'm not rooting for either team. So I think the best thing to do is bet to over 5.5 games. If you look at both of Boston losses in the playoffs, it's been at home. So I do think that Dallas can take at least one game on the road and then, take at least one game at home, which means that you're guaranteed at least 6 games, which means take the over 5.5. So I don't really care who wins. I guess I'm rooting for Dallas, but I'm not betting on the series, but I'm going to be taking the over 5.5 games.
All right, Donnie, what do you think?
Yeah, it's one of the first videos I did here at BMR. And like, hey, we're going to start opening up the NBA talk here. It was the over 5.5. And it was like a minus 150 price, which was expensive. And it's much, much higher than that today because we are expecting an extended series. But if you do look at the series that the Boston Celtics played, round number 1, 5 games, round number 2, 5 games, round number 3, 4 games. They're used to short series. But having said that, they haven't gotten a test yet like the Dallas Mavericks. Everybody was injured in the first 3 series. They got away with some things. And now you're going to face Dallas, both teams not on a rest disadvantage, plenty of time to get ready for this one. But I'm with Sammy. I don't like Boston. I love to root against them. I just think they're the better overall basketball team in this series and do think they win. And quite frankly, they should. They're a minus 225, minus 230 favorite across the board to win this series. I'm interested to see how game number 1 plays out because with so much rust on the basketball court, if you are the Dallas Mavericks and can steal one of these games in Boston, then we have a long series. So Sammy puts out over 5.5 games. You want that to be 1-1 after the series going back to Dallas. You could probably almost assure yourself it's going 6 at that point. But I think the Dallas Mavericks are going to give them a lot of hell in this series. But I just think the Boston Celtics, honestly, guys, too deep and they win this series.
All right, Donnie, thank you. And Sammy, let's go to a subject that I know you're going to be kind of sore about. Let's talk the Stanley Cup Finals. Oilers, Panthers. I know you're upset about the Rangers loss. But I know you watched pretty much every single game, so you probably have some insight on the Panthers. What do you like here? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, in reference to the series, it's the way you want to lose. There's no good way to lose, but they lost competitive games. All 6 games were very competitive. There was 3 straight overtime games, all 1-goal games, except for game number 1. So it sucks, because now you got to start from square one. I know when you get there, same with the Knicks. When you get there, you're like, oh, next year we're going to be healthy and we're easily going to be back. Well, you got 82 more games. Then you got the playoffs, which is another 15 to 20 games, and there's going to be injuries and trades and this, that, and the other. So, you feel good to get there, but it definitely it sucks to lose when you're so close. But going into the finals, Florida did make it there last year. So this is back-to-back Stanley Cups. They did have more points than the Oilers in the regular season. I do think the Oilers have more talent, but I do think Florida having the home ice advantage and the experience of back-to-back, they should be the slight favorite in the series. But just like the NBA, it should be a competitive series. So I'm going to take the over 5.5 games played.
All right, Donnie, what do you like here?
Yeah, rooting on the Edmonton Oilers. And also we talk about that Boston Celtics series, that minus 230 price. This is a close one. It's like a minus 130, minus 128 total number for the series, which even includes home ice advantage being with the Florida Panthers. I think it's a real even matchup. I love the depth of the Florida Panthers, but also the high flying scoring of the Edmonton Oilers makes it so much fun. And how about this series? 2,500 miles between Edmonton and South Florida. So certainly a dichotomy in style here. You got the Canadians of the North, you got South Florida here. And who knew, again, Florida was going to be such a hotbed at this point with the Panthers and also Tampa Bay. I look for it going for a long series as well. I don't really have a play. I like to play night to night. It's fun sometimes throwing down some same game parlays, a couple of guys to get a point that you can root on. But from a series price standpoint, I am rooting for Edmonton. But deep down, I actually think the Florida Panthers are the better side here and have the home ice, and they'll probably win this series. But I am rooting for Edmonton. It's been a long time, boys, since Canada's actually had a Stanley Cup in the building.
Yes, it has. Pipe, Oilers, Panthers, NHL Finals. What do you think? What do you like here?
I'm going to be an old-time homer, man. I'm going to call it Florida and 6. Florida wins the series in 6 games.
Florida in 6. All right, Pipe. All right. Sammy, let's jump into some Q&A threat right here, and then we'll go to some tennis. I posted the first question to you. JJ's known to be fond of your hair, Sammy. What's your routine? What products do you use? What's the deal here?
Now, is this question from JJ or from you, Bobby? Because you talk about my hair every week as my introduction.
Yep.
This question is aimed towards JJ being the balding man. He probably wants to learn how to grow a good set of hair. So I think you're probably the one to explain this.
Gotcha. I don't know how to grow good hair. That's really just genetics. Think about it. If Jeff Bezos is the richest guy in the world and he's bald, then there's no real cure for baldness or shaving your head. Yeah, I mean, I'm very versatile as far as my appearance. I can do long hair, short hair. Right now, I got it short on the sides and a little bit on top. I shampoo about twice a week, and I use OG Baller as my product. Do a little slick right now.
All right. And this question comes from Jeannie. Sammy, what do you think is next for Novak Djokovic after withdrawing from the French Open?
That's great. Yeah, he had a knee meniscus tear. He's had surgery today. He's out minimum of 3 to 5 weeks. So realistically, Wimbledon is 4 weeks away. Most likely not going to play and just basically prepare for the Olympics, which is at the French Open. So, is the surface he just played on. Obviously, he made it to the quarterfinals and had to withdraw. So if he takes the 6 weeks and prepares for the Olympics, I think he'll just take off the grass season. But definitely sucks. He's going to be down to world number 3 after this week. Sinner's going to be the new world number 1. If he loses all the Wimbledon points, he'll probably be still inside the top 10. But, hey, injury's an injury. It's the same injury that ended Roger Federer's career. So, we'll see what happens.
All right. King Coles wants to know, are Jeeps junk?
No.
Okay. JJ with a lot of good questions this week. Thank you. Thank you, JJ. He wants to know, and I actually commented on this. He wants to know, Sammy, do you think you might be a possible Hall of Fame poster down the road? I told him, I think you're a Hall of Fame poster right now.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I've been doing this since 2008, since I was 18 years old, when I was just starting gambling in my dorm room in Plattsburgh, making the dorm room videos over from across the street, and then now over here. So, yeah, I mean, you guys have seen me growing up. So,
yes.
Yeah, definitely a future Hall of Famer. The real question is, JJ, you've been talking about the Hall of Fame for 8 years. When are you going to release the Hall of Famers? The thing with the Hall of Fame every year is that there's a class that enters. So you have to start the Hall of Fame with whomever you want. And then every year you nominate and then bring in new members every year. It's not just one Hall of Fame class forever. It's a yearly, it's always worked on. I don't really, you know what I mean? So let's get it going here.
I agree. And JJ also wants to know, Sam, what are your thoughts about telling your boss to go fuck himself, posting up 40 grand, and being a professional gambler like the one and only JDS?
Yeah, when I get 40 grand, I'll let you know. But no, I got a great relationship at work. I love all the guys at work. So I don't think I'd ever do that to my boss, because then once I lost the 40 grand, I would need a job back. So you don't want to burn the bridges.
Yeah.
So Tanko wants to know, if they banned tennis betting tomorrow, what would you do?
I don't know what I do. I think about this question. I mean, I'm watching it right now. You see me watching it as we're doing this right now, because I got this Zverev bet going on. But I don't really know. I mean, tennis on Monday was 14 and a half hours. It went from 5 a.m. till 7:30 p.m. And that's a daily occurrence. No other sport does that. Everyone loves the red zone, 7 hours. I love football season, but I don't know. Nothing beats tennis. So yeah, I mean, I do other sports, but nothing for me profitable wise and mindset wise or how long I could watch it wise, attention span wise, is going to do anything other than tennis.
All right. Last question for you, Sammy, from R. Dyer. Are you going to go to any of the Belmont Racing Festival at Saratoga?
No, so I'm not going up. It's a madhouse up there. My dad actually works starting tomorrow, so he's actually going to be one of the clerks there, taking on the bets and everything. So he's pretty excited to be up there, make some money, make some tips, awesome, and watch all the races. But in reference to me, no, they closed down one of the main streets on one of the main exits, just obviously for what's coming up. There's going to be 50,000 people. I love the track. I love Saratoga, but I'm not I'm a 20,000 person crowd person. I'm not a 50, 60,000 person crowd. So that's not mine. It's going to be dead at work. So I'm just going to enjoy the weather and hopefully make some money on the races, but not actually be up there myself.
Awesome. Donnie, let's go to you with a few questions. Starting off from JJ, and I'm gonna reword this question because I don't like how you worded it. What does your wife think of your profession?
Yeah, she actually, it's funny when it used to be a lot harder before legalized sports gambling came into it, because the generalized thought is, are you a bookie? No, they never understood the term handicapper. What do you do? Well, I do shows and I talk about gambling. Oh, you take bets? No, I do not do that. I mean, also, she stays out of my business a lot. Like, my downstairs is my cave. A couple different offices down here, a couple different places to shoot. They generally leave me alone. But to be honest, I don't think my wife has ever watched any content live that I've ever done. So I can sort of spout off and, tell the people my issues and stuff like that. And I don't think it'll ever catch up to me, because I don't actually think she's ever watched any of my shows live at any time, radio or TV. How about that? Leaves me.
Damn it, man.
Yeah.
That's a surprise right there. That's a big surprise. Donnie Tanko wants to know, what is your best sport for gambling?
It's hard to say like what the best sport is. If we're looking at true handicapping, it's probably Major League Baseball because it's day to day. It's a grind. It's almost like poker.
Yep.
There's so many statistics out there that you can use.
Yep.
You can't get too high, too low. You got to trust your numbers. But I think we could probably all agree like NFL football is on a different level, but it's only 17 games a season. And you say, okay, a month into the season, you got 4 games. A month into the season in baseball, you got 30 games to deal with. And also taking a look at all those statistics and how they line up. For betting purposes, where I think you can probably – making money is not the right word here. To have an avenue to success, it's baseball because it's more numbers-driven than any other sport. But if you're talking just about fun, content purposes, betting, cheering, having fun, and breaking games down, it's the NFL. But for me, I've always had a special place in my heart for Major League Baseball. There's one of a kind, 5-6 months. What a grind every day. I love it.
Tanko also wants to know, Donnie, speaking of grinding, how many bets do you usually average in a week?
A lot. And again, I'm not a heavy volume better money-wise, but as I said, I'll put anywhere between $250 to $650 a night into play in Major League Baseball. Like just yesterday, 27 bets I had across the board. Today, I have about 19 prop bets in action. But again, it's not heavy prices where if I lose 19 games, you guys won't see me next week. And I'm like, you know what? I had to shut all my accounts down. I got to hide from some people. I do it because I think I have an advantage. I have the bankroll to do it. And also not stressing me out. I could go to bed every single night in peace here. We're not betting that much money, but a lot of bets in Major League Baseball, which is completely opposite with football. Usually it's much, much less. You're really focused on maybe 2 to 3 games a weekend, where baseball, it might be 7 to 8 games a night with RBI chances.
And last question for you, Donnie from Tanko. What is your opinion on the value of creating -1 run lines by combining money line and regular run line bets in baseball?
What, to make it minus? Yeah, I like that. I think it's a strategy I don't use all that much, but I certainly agree with it. Way back in the day, like, we have to imagine, like, we've been around a long time where it was like, hey, books are only offering money line and totals in baseball and run lines. Now you have so many different ways to do it, but we used to love the run line at -1 because you would take that heavy favor and say, just win the game. Hopefully it's by 2, but if it's by 1, you don't lose any money. So if that's the question out there, I have no issues with that whatsoever. And we used to always use that strategy back in the day before we had all of these other options.
And I forgot one from JJ. Do you got any hobbies, Donnie? What do you do outside?
Actually, I'm telling you, I don't have very many hobbies anymore. It used to be golfing when I was single before I had a family. But I guess my hobby technically is my life now. It's sports. But I don't have any like, I'm getting old. Like friends, like my hobby probably is going to bed at like 8 o'clock at night and waking up at 6 in the morning if that's a hobby at this point. Like I'm getting old quick, man.
All right. Thank you. And thank you guys for all those wonderful questions for Donnie and Sammy. Pipe, we got a few for you.
All right, let me just cut you off because I got technical issues today, as you guys see, and I got some plays and I didn't get it. I didn't get to get it out before I'm leading. I know you guys know I got a bag on the Giants. I did tell you guys before the show.
Yes.
And they got a 2-run shot right now. And you know what? That live line, you want some free money? Hit that 9.5 right now. Don't pass it up. It's 2-1. Guy on first. 3 balls. I might get some more. Anyways, let me give you my others because I never got to give it out.
All right.
Okay. Sure. All right. I like that Phillies under 8.5. I know it's in the middle of the game. I didn't get to give it out. I also like that Rangers under 8.5. I got those 4.
I think, Pipe, you still there, buddy?
The heat's on, Pipe.
The heat. I think the heat is messing with that internet connection. Sammy, Pipe, you still there? Go out and come back in. Sam?
Hello. Am I here?
Yeah, you're here. You're here. You're back.
Okay, so the one I didn't give was the 8.5 on the Giants under 2. So that's why I'm buying 9.5, guys. I always try to cover my bet, man.
There you go.
So with the questions,
definitely understandable. Pipe, you still with us?
I'm here.
All right, we got a couple of questions for you from the community, starting with JJ. He wants to know a little bit about your work, about your truck stuff. You know, is your office out of your house? Do you have a place that you rent? Do you have people that are dispatching, or do you do everything yourself as far as the business?
Well, Bobby, I got 27, and I'm trying to get 3 more. I'm working on 2, and then I'll get that 30th. But, you know, I started out driving, man. And that's not a life for everybody. I mean, you miss everything. You're out there 30 days sometimes. Yeah. You know, you got to have a badass woman at home that she don't have her legs up while you're gone. I've heard so many stories from truck drivers crying. But anyways, I own my own shop for the trucks and the maintenance and, dispatch. I mean, this is also my office, and this is where I'm from today, and the internet sucks today, bud.
All right. And last question for you, Pipe from Tanko. Do you do your own taxes or do you hire someone?
I've always been good at numbers. I always write everything down. I'm very meticulous at writing records at whatever it is. I've always been good at numbers. For some reason, since I was a kid, I always wrote everything down because, in today's day, when you build your head with too much shit, you forget. Like, what did I do? Where'd the money go? What happened? I had 30. I had 10. What? Fuck. I'm on 0. And then I try to keep track of my money and everything I did. So I do my own taxes, man. I've always done my own taxes since I started washing dishes to throwing newspapers. I mean, I was always good with numbers, and I do my own.
All right. This is actually a good question for all three of you, which I'm going to pose to you. Pipe, let's start with you since I got you here. How do you provide detailed information on your gambling wins and losses? The IRS, is they surprised? Do you keep a log? I know as far as the casino side of things, you have to keep a detailed log with machine numbers, dates, times, machine names, so on and so forth. But how do you navigate that?
Well, listen, if anybody knows taxes, you know that you can't claim more losses than wins.
Of course.
So that's where you balance out, and you balance out your numbers. And if you know numbers as good as well as I do, you already know in your head, bang, I'm like a calculator. You know what I'm saying? We can test me out right now. Give me any two numbers and I'll tell you. And all three of you will be on the calculator. I'll bet you I'll beat you.
You're probably right. Donnie, same question to you as far as the taxes are concerned.
Yeah, the ones that you worry about a lot there are the casino winnings, where it comes from the slot machines, where they just ding you on the spot. You got to sign for a jackpot. Even when you're doing it online, you'll get that pop in and like, hey, you able to keep track. But the good thing about this is, as Pipe's talking about, if it was just a wild, wild west, it'd be tough. But any site that you bet on, let's just say even if it's legally here, you get that ledger that shows you exactly what you did on a year-to-year basis. So it's very simple. It would be quick. Imagine all the people gambling now, just tedious. Hey, guys, did you keep track of your own records out here and send them in? That would be absolutely wild, but it's pretty easy now where you see it lined up, particularly with those wins over $1,200.
Exactly. But unfortunately, as far as casinos are concerned out here, they actually will not accept a win-loss statement. So every year you get a win-loss statement from the properties out here saying, you ran 50,000 through the slot machine, you lost 25, 30, whatever the case may be. They will not accept that for tax purposes. You actually need to keep a detailed record log with, like I said before, dates, times, machine numbers. It is kind of annoying, but at the end of the year, it's definitely helpful. Sammy, same question to you.
I got nothing on it.
You got nothing on it. Okay.
I'm not a professional. I don't bet enough to have any worry. They want my money. All right. Yeah.
I think, Sammy, did the community have some questions for me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Bobby, we got, of course, JJ Gold's always adding to the mix. He goes, have you ever thought about opening up your own limousine company?
You know what? I've never thought about that. There's a lot of hoops to jump through out here in Las Vegas. You have to have certain licensing, and getting one of those licenses is like pulling teeth. You have to go in front of a committee and prove that there is enough business to support opening another limo company. And it's a lot of headache, a lot of hassle to go through. So no, I never have.
Well, how about returning to Atlantic City and working as a dealer?
No.
I've never actually had the interest of working as a dealer, number one. As far as returning to Atlantic City, my parents are still back there as they get up there in age. If, they need me, of course, I'll return back there and help them out, do whatever I can. But right now I'm settled in Vegas as far as, work and everything else is concerned. So I'm not going back there anytime soon.
And Tanko wants to know, down in Vegas, if you weren't doing the Uber Lyft, what would you be doing?
Oh, that's actually a really good question, Tango. I'd probably do something customer service related, call center related. That's always been my field. I started working from home, doing different customer service jobs. I've always been on the phone. So I'd probably do something customer service, sales related.
And then lastly, you got Flying Illini that wants you to tell the community about your rough upbringing in the streets of AC and how it shaped you into the man you are today. Secondly, Illini is wondering how many buttons you would like to remove from your shirt.
That is, Illini, I did not have a really tough upbringing. I had a really good upbringing. So, really can't talk about that because there's nothing to really talk about. I had a normal upbringing just like everybody else.
And in reference to the buttons.
What about the buttons?
Eli was wondering if you would do the podcast without a shirt on.
Oh yeah, I know, but maybe next week.
Push that one off.
Yeah, maybe next week. Unless we'll talk about it next week. Sammy, let's talk a little tennis. How's that tennis threat looking? What's the record?
Tennis has been great in the last couple weeks. We're plus 43 units on the year, plus 42 alone just on the clay surface. We're into the we're into the semifinals. Last match right now was Zverev, and a couple more matches. Then we're on to the grass season, which is a short 5 weeks, and then back to the hard courts. So let's keep it going.
All right. Awesome. And speaking of going, guys, good luck this week on all your bets. Yep. Thank you guys for tuning in each and every week and posting all those questions to us. We definitely really do appreciate it. And good luck on all your action.
Hold on before you cut us off, man. I wanted to talk about helping sports bettors win.
All right. Let's hear it, Pipe. What do you got?
Help them out.
I mean, listen, man, let's get real. This game is hard to win. I've lost a lot in the past. I mean, through trial and error. And now I win more and I make money. I mean, I really, through trial and error, you learn, right? You learn what to do. You learn what not to do. And live betting is one of the toughest, by the way. I now win more than I lose. But, man, 25 years ago, I'll tell you what, I give them my check every week. I believe in helping others and making money. I've let people into my circle that I've had to cut out of my life because when we win, it's all rosies. But then, bang, you get a loss, comes in suddenly. They're trying to vilify you, to anyone that's going to listen. But no matter what, man, I keep helping people.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pipe. And we as a community definitely do appreciate that. And like I said, guys, good luck on all your action this coming week. And we will see you guys around on the floor.
Let's go, Giants. 6-1, baby. Get money.
Go.